Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed listeners, it's my pleasure to introduce a distinguished guest today. We have Noha Hefny. Noha Hefny is a multi-awarded visionary corporate and a humanitarian leader, serial social entrepreneur. Noha is also ranked amongst the top 100 women in social enterprise by the European Euclid Network and among Asia's 100 women power leaders. And she is also had received various other awards. She held senior executive roles in the corporate world with the leading organizations and global brands like PepsiCo and McKinsey. She also worked with the three UN agencies, including UNHCR with refugees, UNESCO education, and UN Women, driving the women empowerment. She is also a global leader for gender and human rights and for female civility. And to share more about her, she is also the co-author of various books on human values and inclusive leaderships. Her journey and missions are marked by consistent commitment to deliver impact to thousands, especially women and youth, and leveraging the power of communications, tech, inclusive media, and digital storytelling to deliver social good and make a difference in the world, drive tolerances, and bridges the cultures. So, Noha is here with us to share her wealth of experience and insights exploring the intersection of technology, communication, and social impact. So, please join me, my dear listeners, in welcoming the extraordinary guest of today's podcast, Noha Hefny. Noha, welcome to the podcast, and I am your host today, Sonal Shah, to the adfartech Venture podcast, and we are so grateful to have you today. So, Noha, it's a really, truly, it's our honor to have you. And before we dive into our conversations today, could you please share a brief overview of your journey and your experiences, the milestone you have achieved, and the things which are shaping your career and can inspire others also? So we are very eager to hear about the part that led you to your, current impactful positions. So Neha, the mic is now over to you. Please.
Thank you very much, Sonal, for hosting me. It's really a pleasure to be here and to be able to share, a broader message with your audience and on how tech, can be leveraged for social good and how, as we navigate, a digital future, how we can make this future more inclusive, more relevant for people. So, in terms of my journey and my experience with technology for social good, it has been mainly demonstrated through different social impact ventures that I have launched. Across all of my ventures, I did again build tech startups that leverage technology for social good. So I won't talk about all of them, but I'll focus on the latest one, which is People of Impact. And People of Impact started off as a platform for a social network for social impact. So similar to Facebook or LinkedIn, but focused on social impact. The reality is we had to pivot because it was a very, you needed basically a huge number of resources in terms of humans and financial resources to power, a technology platform such as this one. So, we navigated to a different direction, building, a comms and sustainability a comms, sort of agency that's focused on sustainability. But just to tell you about the journey. So in this particular context, the idea is, why use tech and how to use it for social good. So in the case of People of Impact, even though the platform today did not really succeed, the lesson learned was as follows. Technology can help us expand our reach globally. It can enable us to reach niches of people who are interested in social impact across the globe in a very swift, effective way. So technology can expand reach. The second thing, technology, and particularly AI, if you're building a community, you can leverage this AI in order to pull data, information that can be relevant to your audience instead of, basically doing this process manually. And that again drives efficiency, productivity, etc. And again, when you use AI, you're aggregating for different sources from different sources, etc. So it can help you really deliver strong information that can help raise awareness about social impact, that can help engage audiences and really let them know about projects all over the world that have to do with impact. Technology as well for social good, having worked, for humanitarian organizations with the UN, for example, can be used to help support gender equality. And that is by providing technology platforms that can enable the dissemination and raising of women's voice and agency around the world. So, by documenting stories in a digital format, by building repositories of audio tracks that can be stored in a library that demonstrate, women's leadership across different sectors, across communities. So again, tech is an enabler and a catalyst for social change. And I can say again also, if you look at social media, I have used social media multiple times to deliver, digital and social media campaigns that raise awareness about different causes. This has been done, of course, across my multiple roles in the corporate humanitarian sector, but also as an entrepreneur. So, educating audiences about climate change, about women empowerment, about innovation for social good, about youth empowerment, and again, the list goes on how we can really leverage tech for social impact. And another, great example of that is in situations of war and conflict, when people are, lose their families. You can use again tech to help locate family members who have been dispersed in a crisis or others. And I've witnessed that really in the refugee field and so on. So I'll stop here because I think I've kind of set the stage for the rest of the discussion. Definitely to make to wrap this intro up, I would say technology is a catalyst for social good and must be used in order to expedite and expand our reach to different populations across the globe, to raise awareness about different causes, and to enable the sharing of information, the expansion of networks that can deliver good at a much faster pace. And, but there are challenges that come with that. And it is, how do we ensure that we don't leave anyone behind in terms of access to technology? And then the second is, how do we ensure that the new technologies that are emerging are not biased and not exclusive of certain people and communities?
Yeah, thank you so much, Noah, for this wonderful and not more than wonderful, but it's a really, genuinely touched introduction. Still that I had heard about someone who are, not only doing something for benefits in terms of a tangible, but these are the all non-tangible benefits that cannot be, earned, but this can be get by respects as well as, the meaningful art of doing something for the others. So thank you so much for this wonderful introductions. So Noha, before we start our actual discussions, I would also like to thankful to our audiences, like as per their demands and their requests, we are creating this podcast and we are, bringing the great people on a stage to have the discussions on the technology and the future of a technology. So thank you so much, our audiences, to be with us, and thank you so much for listening to the episodes of adfartech Venture podcast. And Noha, if you permit me, just for 2 minutes, I would also like to give introduction about myself and my organization, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Noah, thank you so much for this opportunity to have a discussions with you through adfartech Venture podcast. If just like I would like to introduce as a adfartech Venture is a IT and a tech platform which we focus on majority of the IT solutions, IT resources, recruitments, and this kind of a tech audio podcast. We have a vendor alliances with the 50 plus tech partners. It includes SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, Pega, OutSystems, APM, Salesforce, Cloudera, Informatica, and many such more. And we also provide the key solutions for ERP, application development, data, AI/ML, blockchain, and the clouds managed services like UX, UI, testing, and the cybersecurity. And the major skills which we have is we have a 20,000 plus resources all across the skills. So we can deliver both on-site and offshore within the 24 hours of the inquiries. So this is all about at Fartech Venture podcast. And through these podcasts, we try to, discuss the views of visionary tech leaders for the next upcoming technologies. What is the future of the technologies? What are their valuable insights in, and from their experiences, our audiences can learn and try to evolve with this energy. So this is all about adfartech venture, and we are again thankful to you to have you today. So if you permit us, we can start our question and answer session too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Noha. So as you had described, like in your introduction only, you have, demonstrated a commitment to using a technology for a positive impact, right? So can you share a specific project or any initiative where you have, harnessed the power of technology to address social or environmental challenge, or whatever the lessons which, you have learned from that experiences, please.
So, as I mentioned earlier, People of Impact, my venture, it started off as a tech platform for social good. So, we were building the world's first social network for social impact. And basically, again, while this platform did not succeed due to lack of resources, financial and human, the idea there was really leveraging the technology to enable, impact creators around the world to connect with impact creators across different countries, to collaborate and to amplify their impact, number one, to enable the aggregation of different stories of impact on one platform, showcasing what is possible, inspiring the youth with role models in the social impact space. It was also a platform to leverage technology to bring experts together, discussing solutions around different social challenges. It was, again, leveraging technology to drive innovation and design thinking to deliver, again, solutions for impact challenges around the world and sustainable development challenges. So this is really where I really invested a lot in technology, brought it together. And it was a real great example of how, that is possible. Technology bringing the world together, making it smaller, bridging cultures, and connecting people for the greater good. As I mentioned also, in the refugee field, for example, I did experience technology platforms that reconnect families that are separated by war and conflict, for instance. So that is, again, a very interesting way of using the power of technology to address social challenges. Additionally, I would say education. So when you have so many displaced people around the world or people impacted by war who need to access education, how to give them that access. Technology can make that access more feasible through nonprofits and humanitarian organizations. But again, there are so many ways that we need to leverage tech for social good. The idea there is really, expanding the reach of our efforts, enabling us to double our impact and to be more productive and efficient in delivering that impact and reaching, niche audiences around the globe that we are unable to reach without the technology.
Right, very inspirational. So, your each and every initiative, it's really showcase the transformative potentials of tech for a social good. So, by these means, you are, not only reaching to the specific area, but by the use of a technology, you are leveraging the benefits to each and every undeserved communities too. So, wonderful, wonderful, Noha. So, given your expertise in the AI and equitable and de-biased, system management, so how do you approach the challenge of ensuring that artificial intelligence is developed and deployed in equitable and unbiased manner? So, is there any specific strategies or a framework that you have found effective in addressing these bias in technological organizational settings?
So definitely, I mean, again, where I really experienced or worked with that was when I was working with the UN on women empowerment in the capacity of an advisor or consultant. But basically, there again, ensuring equity and mitigating bias in AI is requiring, a multifaceted approach. It cannot be done, as with in a siloed way or, doing one part and not the other. You need a multifaceted integrated approach that consists of different pillars. So one is really transparency, and particularly when it comes to collecting data. How can we ensure transparency in this process? How can we ensure inclusion? The other thing is, when you form teams to work on AI, are they really diverse? Are they really inclusive? Are they really going to, aggregate data that is reflective of different people and cultures and ethnicities and nationalities? Or are they only picking people that, reflect an affinity bias, everyone who looks like them, or so on? So again, transparent data collection and ensuring diversity and inclusion in terms of the development teams that work on AI solutions. And then the last, thing is really continuous monitoring of bias is also key. So looking at solutions that are developed, tech solutions that are developed, and making sure that they are not, reflecting bias against certain people, nationalities, religions, ethnicities, genders, etc. One of the also key things here to ensure AI is debiased is to have, uh, you know, um, continuous input of diverse voices, diverse images, diverse inputs, prompts, etc. These AI sort of solutions, in order to ensure that they are inclusive. To do that, you need to engage different stakeholders, and you need to ensure that these stakeholders have active roles, in refining these AI models for fairness and inclusivity. And you also need to develop frameworks and policies. So today, you were asking what are the frameworks and policies that are in place. I'm not really sure that this is really advanced, but I know that in the European Union, there has been a lot of work to develop policies around AI to ensure that AI is debiased. I know that around different parts of the world as well, there are efforts in this direction. But today, I don't think there is in the world, yet a very developed framework that can govern AI in the right way. There are, fairness indicators, AI ethic principles that have, been developed by different organizations. However, again, a lot of work needs to be done in the area of governance.
Yeah, that's a wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your effective strategies. So it's a really insightful strategies, and by this approach, it really addressed that AI biases, committed towards the fairness in your each and every projects. So thank you so
I
much for
mean,
sharing.
so Nalia, if I may add, today, if you go on any AI search engine, for example, AI-enabled search engine or image generator, and you write, for example, if you say generate an image of a CEO, right? You will find a male figure, engineer, a male figure, etc. So again, from a gender equality perspective, how can we shift that? So we can shift that by having input of different organizations of images and text that can be picked up by AI that reflect this diversity. So a great example of that is a project that stems out of the UAE by Mullen Louis and Aurora 50, an organization that works on gender equality, which is called Fixing the Bias. And Fixing the Bias is about encouraging organizations to input, diverse images into AI, diverse information into AI to make it more equitable. So I think we need more of that around the world, and we need greater governance from the policy side, in order to really ensure that in 10, 20 years from now, we actually are not reinforcing stereotypes and biases that existed in our world.
Yeah, thank you so much. And your each and every insights are really invaluable. So,
Thank you.
may I know how do you get the inspirations for all this such initiative? This is not, the questions we always ask to our guest, but from your each and every words, even I myself is getting so many inspirations. So, may I know how you take these inspirations, or how do you take the ideas from this perspective?
My mission and my purpose is really around social impact and sustainable development. And so I read a lot in those spaces, and every single one of my career choices, projects that I initiated, really integrate these concepts of eliminating bias, eliminating stereotypes, adhering to universal human values. And it's really applying these to every single field that I was in, and every field I will join in the future. So I believe that impact is everywhere. You don't need to start an NGO or a social impact venture, or work for the UN, for example, to deliver impact. You can deliver impact in any field, so long as you have it in your mind that how can I use my own talents as a leader, my own gifts as a human being, to serve others, but also how can I leverage my position in an organization to deliver impact, to be of service. So if we all think that way and bring about, revival of human values, which are universal, there is no distinction in terms of, kindness, generosity, inclusion. These are all universal. If we all put them at the forefront of our thinking in design, even development and the delivery of technology, delivery of projects, results, if we mainstream these, we will have much, less biased world and
Yeah.
more equitable world for sure. So this is what inspires me to really integrate impact and purpose into everything that I come across. And I get inspired by the entrepreneurs, who are developing these amazing solutions to help the world. I get inspired by youth who are really trying again to contribute to social impact by using technology, by using
Yeah.
new solutions and innovation. I get inspired by people in communities who live in very disadvantaged settings but are still innovating for social good. This is what inspires.
So inspirational, the things which you had shared. Thank you so much for sharing these impactful words and the, vibes to inspire someone. Thank you so much. So,
Thank
Noha, like as you had mentioned, you are upgrading yourselves with the books and from the inspirations from the uh, very good entrepreneurs or from the generations who are, sharing their thoughts. So, with the focus on, skill building for a digital future, how do you advocate for and contribute to equitable access to digital education and skill building opportunities?
Yeah. So again, here, there are multiple levels. So one, we need inclusive policies that make sure to put, groups that are underrepresented, such as women, for example, at the forefront of policies that provide access to digital education. The second is really supporting community initiatives. So supporting entrepreneurs who are using tech, edtech, for example, um, actually deliver their solutions, because in these solutions they bring access to education, to digital skills, many people around the world. So how do we invest in these social ventures that bring digital skills and education around tech to the forefront? And the other thing is, also from an education lens, I mean, around the world, we know that there are 3 billion people who don't have access to technology yet. So these people will be left behind again. So how do we create projects that support community initiatives that will give these people access to the internet, access to digital knowledge that they can use so that they are not left behind in a digital economy? Um, Another thing is, of course, partnerships with between organizations that are working on bridging the digital divide gap. So, for example, how do we, instead of working again in silos, how do we collaborate? How do we create system change? How do we bring technology in an amplified way by bringing our efforts together? So, for example, you're doing a podcast, someone else has an edtech platform. How do you combine these forces to deliver a greater impact? And last but not least, how to make learning material that are available digitally affordable and accessible for as many people around the world as possible. And by giving a good price to access educational program, by making the technology accessible offline, not just only online, so that people can also access. And then last but not least, really having skills building, kind of opportunities through programs, but also through mentorship. Um, so how do you, for example, mentor someone else, let's say in developing, uh, in another part of the world, in a disadvantaged community, to build a podcast? So this would help a lot to give people access, to build their skills for a digital future. I could do the same from a marketing lens, how to do digital storytelling, and so on. So mentorship, skills building around navigating a digital world, the ethics of being in a digital world, building projects, and core hard digital skills as well is very key.
So it's a admirable advocacy, right? You are leading. So thank you for sharing your dedications to, promoting equitable access to digital educations. And the way you are sharing the things, it's like it's really showing your efforts in, skill building for a digital future. So that's a very commendable job you are doing. So, Noha, if you don't mind, can you share some of the ongoing projects or technologies which, right now you are managing to achieve the positive social impacts? So what specific technologies are integral to the success of your these all initiatives which you are leading right now?
So I'll talk about one that is completed, and I'll talk about a second one that I'm working on right now. So the first one was skills building program, which was run 100% digitally for disadvantaged youth in Lebanon. And this was bringing them, consultants or experts from different sectors, experts for a good cause, the program was called, to teach them, digital skills. So in this context, we had to use, for example, technologies like Zoom, AI, develop, we had to do data, you leverage data analytics, again, using technology to analyze the impact of the program. So this is one example of a program that we have developed. The second is really at the moment, I'm building a digital storytelling platform to collect and aggregate, thousands of stories from around the world that document the goodness of the of humanity. And so here again, to aggregate the story, we will be using AI to document them. We'll be using video and multimedia capability online, and the AI generated content, for instance. And of course, I'm not a tech expert, by the way. I'm more of an impact expert that lives in tech. But definitely, I mean, the cloud computing will be integral to that. Maybe again, in terms of in previous projects that I worked on, we used like machine learning, blockchain, to deliver, services and social impact.
Yeah.
But at the moment, really, mainly in the projects I have done from a social impact lens as part of my mission and purpose, it's mainly digital storytelling, video capabilities, AI for imagery and text and stories and aggregation of content, and really building platforms that are, I don't know what the technology is there, but
Yes, yes, yes. Wonderful. Visionary projects you are leading, and especially when now you are using a blockchain and ML and AI. So it's really aligned with your mission as well as to, make the AI equitable anti-bias, as you had mentioned earlier. So it's a wonderful to know about your impactful initiative in line with the technological requirements. So thank you so much for sharing this. So, Noha, adding on to these, like as you had mentioned that you are managing human values in this digital age. So, how do you integrate the champions of these human values to ensure that adoption of digital solutions align with the ethical considerations and respect individual privacy and
yeah, I mean, in a digital age where all the information is, traveling very fast, I mean, promoting human values is a key priority. And here, how do we do that? Is really prioritizing ethical consideration, building capacity of teams, in the digital space, um, who use digital, around ethics, around respecting privacy, preserving the dignity. In terms of, again, I'm a communications professional, so I'll talk about storytelling, how to share stories while respecting the rights of the people that are incorporated in these stories, how to ensure transparency in terms of the data practices, how to ensure, in design, that the design is human centric, user centric, and how to advocate for regulations, that really put people at the forefront in this evolving technological landscape. So by doing that, I think, this is how we can incorporate human values by putting them, as I mentioned earlier, at the forefront of all of our efforts from design to execution of technology.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving, emphasizing in this importance of human values in line with the technological needs of the today's age. So this all shows, you have a very deep understanding of ethical considerations with the needs of the technologies. Wonderful, wonderful. So, Noha, if you don't mind, can you share without revealing the confidential details? A glimpse about your upcoming projects, or you are excited about something that is aligned with your strategic goals of building the sustainability as well as creating the social impact, or what technologies do you envision playing key role in your next initiative, if you don't mind, please?
So for me, first of all, I'm back in the corporate world, so I'd be starting a new role in February. So, however, as part of my mission and purpose, I always volunteer
Yes.
to develop different projects. So I am really going to continue on my mission, and my mission is to use technology for storytelling to showcase
Oh, that's
the,
great.
the goodness and the impact of humans around the world. So, how will I do that? It's no secret. It's really collecting thousands of stories globally that demonstrate the goodness of humanity, and that could be in the shape of people doing good. So whether it's social good or living human values in a certain way, demonstrating kindness, generosity. So I'm on a mission to collect thousands of these stories to feed into a much larger project that, reinvents the media landscape. So this is really, again, a personal passion and a personal mission and project. However, at the moment, really, my next step is a full return to the corporate world uh, in a communications role that is starting on February 1st.
That's wonderful.
where,
Congratulations
where,
for the
where I
new
will
role.
continue to bring my impact as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. And we like to have the people like you, who are actually not only thinking, as I told in the introductions as well as in the brief about yourself too, that the world needs the people like you, and that too, who are not just only focused for their career orientations or career building, but who are really thinking good for the people. So that's a wonderful things you are leading today's edge. So thank you so much. Really very impressive impacts you are creating. So Noha, just to like coming to the next, like as you had said, you are also practicing ethics very much. And throughout these all questions, I am also observing that rule that you are very ethical in these technical roles. So how do you navigate these ethical considerations that comes with the advancing technologies? Or is there any specific ethical guidelines or framework that you are adhering with this sustainable tech practices?
No, I mean, again, I think, how to look at ethical principles in the development of technology. And the ethical principles are found in international, conventions by the UN, by others, by global organizations, by governments who are taking the effort, to create stronger governance around technology, right? It's also looking at human values and how to integrate them into development of models. So I think one of the aspects that I want to talk about, which is very important, is really the gender gap in digital skills, which really remains a concern with women, underrepresented in STEM fields, and again, how do we encourage inclusivity and provide equal opportunities for education and for career development and promote diversity in the tech industry itself? This is really essential to create a more inclusive and sustainable future, and to take steps to bridge this gender gap in the digital sphere. So for this to happen, we really need the tech industry to come together to create mentorship programs, to offer trainings that can help empower women to acquire and excel in digital skills, to foster, a more balanced and diverse workforce, so that people and women in particular don't get excluded, because we know at the moment that there is a gap of more than 18%, in terms of women's access to digital skills. So having said that, what can we do about it? How can we encourage more women in STEM? viewing that STEM, is the future, is, is what organizations need, and technology is what organizations need. And globally, we know that 35% of STEM students, only 35% are women. So there is a big gap to be filled, and this is a responsibility that falls with everyone, individuals, corporates, governments, and NGOs.
Yes, yes. So it's a very thoughtful approach you are, managing. So it's a very transparent as well as commendable job you are doing. So thank you for sharing your insights on, navigating the ethics in the technology. So Noha, if you don't mind, can you please share me that, for these venture or for these specific, your, um,
Mhm.
I said, uh, initiative, are you leading alone or is there any team of people that, working for you?
Well, again, as I mentioned, I do this during my free time. It's my purpose and mission. So I interview, like you, interesting people that come along my way that are developing great good in the world, documenting their stories and hopefully inputting them into a digital platform. Because again, I'm fully dedicated to my current role that I'm transitioning to. Um, and, like I said, it's a personal project. I do have collaborators from around the world who are in my network. People who have a passion for storytelling, who have a passion for media, for impact, who are equally, committed to collecting these stories to demonstrate the human goodness, that there is good in the world, that we can all make a difference
Yeah.
in our own way.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And definitely, please let us know if, by any means, if we can be useful to you for a provision of resources, for provision of value, or for any kind of needs that, you require in your missions to accomplish something or where you are stuck somewhere.
Thank,
So just let us know. We are really very happy to help you in, mission for this tech.
thank you very much.
So thank you so much. Yeah. So Noha, as we have completed this question and answer sessions, and before we actually close this wonderful session with you, if you are able to provide our audience a nugget of wisdom or a one-liner, perhaps that encapsulate your approach or a piece of advice that would resonate with your journey, so that your words can have the powerful positive impact to inspire the audience. So please.
Again, I would say that in everything that you do in your daily life or as leaders, putting purpose and impact at the forefront of your efforts in the design, development, and implementation of different projects and solutions is critical to create a more equitable and sustainable future for all. So we all hold a responsibility, and it will take everyone to play their part in order to make a difference. So this is how I would close this. And I would also, because it's a tech kind of podcast and focused in terms of discussion today, I would say that again, let us all play our part in using technology responsibly and ensuring ethics in the content that we input into technological solutions.
Yes.
And that we also think how the technology we develop, that we use, and that we implement or deliver can be used, to be of service to humanity and to address some of the social and environmental challenges that our world is facing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Neha. And as we bring these insightful conversations to close, I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I also want to express my deepest gratitude for you to, have the wealth of experience, knowledge you had shared. Now, last from 2 to 3 months, I had interviewed so many people, and they are all almost focused on a specific technologies, but you have shared your perspective with the communications, partnerships, social impacts, and this tech for a
Yeah.
good that is truly enlightening and inspiring. So thank you so much for everything, and thank you so much for being the phenomenal guest on that FarTech venture. So Noha, yes. So as we draw the curtains on today's conversations, my heartful gratitude and as I said earlier also, and to right now also, your inspirations, your insights on each and every words and the ethical practices you are following It's a really honored to have you as a guest today.
Thank you.
So thank you so much,
Thank
Noha.
you so
Yeah,
much,
thank you so much.
Sonal, as well, for all your efforts and your company's efforts to bring together, the voices and the perspective of people from all over the world to share more around technology. And I wish you all the best and every success as well in the future. Thank you for hosting
Yeah, thank you so
me.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thanks to our incredible audience also, because, because of them only, we are, making this podcast thrive, and we are making the world a greater place to, share the views and their technological requirements. So, as we all know that, power of changes often lies in the smallest action. This is also one of them. So, thank you, Noha, and thank you all for being the part of this enriching experience. And dear audience, if you would like to know or collaborate for any good cause with the Noha Hefny, you can directly follow her to their LinkedIn pages and through their company pages. And Noha, also, you also, if you need any kind of help or collaborations for any technological needs, just go to the adfartech venture page and follow us. And to other technological leaders, you can directly follow from their pages. So let's continue this journey of knowledge and inspirations together, and follow us on a LinkedIn for a front row seat in the latest tech industry updates. Thank you so much for everything,
Thank,
Noha. Thank you.
thank you very much, Sonal.